revision of all the poems.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
Miss, how many sets will be there in the exam to choose from?
Supposed to be 9 sets.
Miss, last time in half yearly we got 6 sets.
So that's 6 sets.
9.
Yeah, it depends upon who will set your paper. If a person who does not know set your paper, then it is if the person depends on what he or she wants to give you, that's another thing. But the normal thing, as per rule, is you should be attempting 9. Okay, come on, let's start. We will not wait for others because we have to. Today I said I will do all the poems with you quickly. In case you have missed out anything, and in case you are writing, then you just, or you have a question, you raise your hand. All right? Just a second, let me give these boys their attendance. Okay, first poem, we'll take the Heart of the Tree. First of all, Heart of the Tree, look at the first lines of every verse. Why is this line repeated? And then you got a specific name that is given to the style that is adapted over here that you have to keep in mind. Then who these lines are addressed to. The first line of every verse is addressed to the general readers or to the readers. First verse tells you the activities involved in planting a tree. Right? The last line of the first verse tells you these are the things he plants who plants a tree. What are these things? These things, friend of the sun and sky, flag of breezes free, shaft of beauty towering high, home to heaven unknown, for the mother bird. What are these things? Number 1, friend of sun and sky. 2, flag of breezes free. 3, shaft of beauty towering high. 4, a home for the mother bird. Then when you come to the second line, why a friend of the sun and sky? Second one, identify the figure of speech. Third one, meaning of shaft of beauty towering high. And then again over here, figure of speech. Then we come to the mother bird. The mother bird makes the tree its home. And in the hushed and happy twilight, you can hear the song of the mother bird, increasing the harmony of the atmosphere. Then you come to verse number 2. What does he plant who plants a tree? Again, this is asking the readers. Then we are looking at the benefits of planting a tree in the second verse. What are the benefits? Number 1, cool shade. Number 2, tender rain. Number 3, seed and buds of days to be. Number 4, glory of the plain. Number 5, forest heritage. These are the benefits. Number 1, cool shade. Number 2, tender rain. Number 3, seed and buds to be. Number 4, glory of the plain. Number 5, forest heritage. Days to be in the third line. Age in the third line. And unborn is, all 3 phrases have the same meaning, referring to the future. Another very important phrase that is coming in this particular verse is fade and flush. Fade and it's a life, death, and regeneration. It is symbolic of life, death, and regeneration. In this particular verse, you can get the meaning of the glory of the plain. You can get the meaning of forest heritage. You can get the meaning of coming age, means the coming generation. You can get the meaning of unborn eyes, children not yet come into existence. You can get the meaning of days to be, future. Days to be is future. Coming age is a coming generation. Unborn eyes are children not yet born. Then the third one is more philosophical in thought, because the one who plants a tree over here plants it for the benefit of the human beings. What does it give to the people? It gives sap, leaf, wood. Right? What does it do? Why does he plant the tree? He plants it in love of home and loyalty for the civic good. Far cast thought means thinking about the future of the civic people, of the citizens. His blessings in capital letter, who in the hollow of his in capital letter, these two capital letters make the person who plants a tree godlike. What does he do? His blessings around the neighborhood. In the hollow of the hands, he's got the growth of the land. And the meaning that you can get, nations growth from sea to sea. Right? So what is he doing? He's got the nations growth from sea to sea. You can get the meaning of it. These are the things that stirs in his heart who plants a tree. The heart of the tree, first of all, symbolism, justification of title, heart of the tree. What is the heart? How does the tree serve as the heart? That is what you have to explain in justification of title. Yes, the title is justified because you have to explain what is the function of a heart and what does the tree do that is similar to a heart. Coming to the friend of sun and sky, there are two key words, photosynthesis and purification. Sun is photosynthesis, sky is purification. Okay, anyone missed out anything? Anyone missed out anything? Got it?
No, miss.
Got it all? Got it all? Okay. So moving on to the next one. If you have anything, raise your hand. No. Yes, Subhagarwal?
What will be the meaning of gold or a nation's growth from sea to sea?
The prosperity of a country to eternity. Sea to sea means eternity. Everlasting. Unending. A country's prosperity to eternity. By planting the trees, what is he doing? He's bringing prosperity to his country till eternity, means till many, many years to come. Unending prosperity. Because in the last verse, he's more philosophical. He's planting the tree for leaf, sap, and wood. He's planting it for the civic good. So this will be for the good of the nation, prosperity of the country. Sea to sea means to eternity.
What's the meaning of love of home and loyalty?
Love of home and loyalty. Why does he plant the tree now over here? He's not planting the tree for the mother bird. He's not planting the tree for the glory of the plain, but he is planting his tree because of the love that he has towards his own home, so that he will be able to get some food out of it, and loyalty to the mankind. In love of home and loyalty, he plants a tree. He loves his own people and he thinks about mankind, so that is why he plants the tree. All right, the second poem, starting straight away, The Cold Within. We are coming to justification of title as we are looking at cold within, and we are seeing that the 6 people that we have got in the poem did not really die because of the cold without, but they died of the cold within. So 2 phrases you have to remember over here, the cold within and the cold without. So justification of title, yes, the title is correct because the 6 humans trapped by happenstance that day did not die because of the cold without means the cold weather, the atmosphere, but they died because of the cold within, which is symbolic of lack of humanity, love. What else can you write? Compassion. So first of all, coming straight with the justification of the title, as soon as you read the title Cold Within, the next thing you have to remember, cold without. And then you're giving the justification of the title. Yes, it is correct that the poem has been entitled The Cold Within because the 6 humans trapped by happenstance that day did not die because of the cold weather conditions, that is the cold without, but they died because of the cold within, which is symbolized by lack of humanity, love, compassion, feeling for one another. So this has got almost every line has got a question of here. How many humans were trapped that day? 6 humans were trapped. How did the 6 humans come together? The 6 humans were trapped by happenstance. What is the meaning of happenstance? Happened by chance. Describe the weather. The weather was bleak, bitter, and cold. What did each one possess? Each one possessed a stick of wood. Last line, also the story is told. What is the story that is being told in the poem? What is the story that is being told in the poem? The story is about 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one of them possessed a stick of wood, but they died of the cold within. That is the story. What is the story that is told in the poem? The story is about 6 humans trapped by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, but they died of the cold within. Last line you can include yourself, but they died of the cold within. So this is what is the story about. Why Mahavir is coming into devices? Okay. Then what was their dying fire in need of? The dying fire was in need of logs. Why did the first one hold hers back? First one will be her. Why did the first one hold hers back? Because for of the faces round the fire, she noticed one was black. What was the first one practicing? What is she practicing?
Racial discrimination.
All right. Then, why did the next man not put his stick into the fire? The next man, looking across the way, saw one was not of his church, so he could not bring himself to give the fire a stick of birch. What was the second one practicing?
Religious
discrimination. All right. The third one sat in tattered clothes. He gave his cold a hitch. Describe the third person. The third person was a poor man.
discrimination. Rich and the poor.
Wait. Describe the third one. The third one was a poor one. He sat in tattered clothes. Give the meaning of tattered. Sat in tattered clothes and he gave his coat a hitch. Why did he not put his log in the wood? Because he said, why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? What is the meaning of idle rich? Why does he call the rich idle? Anyone?
Because the poor work
One person. Raise your hand. Okay, Sachinand, why does he call them rich? Idle?
They do nothing and they sit idly.
All right, because he believes that they do no hard work. All the hard work is done by the poor. They dominate the poor. They discriminate the poor. They exploit the poor while they are all very idle and they take the hard work of the poor. The rich man sat back and thought. What did the rich man think? The rich man sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. Why does the rich man call the lazy, shiftless poor? Jatin Garg, why does he call the poor lazy, shiftless? Okay, before that, give the meaning of lazy, shiftless. Anyone raise your hand? Yes, Aman? Lazy, shiftless?
Meaning no aim.
No ambition.
No ambition. And lazy?
Lazy means it does no work.
Okay, lacking energy and ambition. Very good. Lacking energy and ambition. From the lazy, shiftless, poor. Why does he call the poor lazy and shiftless over here? Raise your hand. Yes, Sankalan.
The rich man feels that the poor do nothing except begging to the rich man for money. They just sit by the roads and wear worn out clothes.
And have no ambition. All right. So he refers to the poor as lazy and shiftless because they seem to be lacking energy and ambition to do any work, and they easily give up and they cheat the rich, and that is how they make their living. The black man's face bespoke revenge. What did the black man's face bespeak? The black man's face bespoke revenge. As the fire passed from his side, what did he see in the stick of wood? He saw a chance to spite the white. What was the black man practicing?
Racial discrimination.
The last man of this forlorn group. What is the meaning of forlorn?
Lonely group.
Okay, lonely group. Lonely group. What is the question that you can get on forlorn group?
Figure of speech.
Why was the forlorn?
What is the question that you can get on forlorn group? Raise your hand.
Miss, what are the principles of the last man?
No. Only forlorn group. What is the question that you can get on that?
Why
Yes,
was the
Lakshay?
meaning forlorn?
Why was
Forlorn.
No, I'm not getting. So many of you are answering, but I'm not getting that word that I am looking for. Yes, Jatin Garg. Pratik Perez. What is the question that you can get on forlorn group? Yes, Jatin.
Figure of speech.
No figure of speech. What is the question that you can get on that?
Yes, although
Francis?
6 people were together, why was this group called forlorn?
Okay, that is
Why
one
was
question. Ironical. Irony. Forlorn group is you can get the word irony with reference to that. Why was it ironical? Because six men sat.
but they are.
Six men. You have to mention 6 people sat together, but each of them were lost in their own world and lonely. So that is the irony. So what was the principles of the last man? He did not accept for grain, giving only to those who give. All right. Then how did the last man play his game? The last man gave only to, again comes to the principles only. It can be asked in 2 different ways. What was the principle of the last man? How did he play the game? 2 different questions. How did he play the game? He did nothing except for gain, giving only to those who give. This is how he played the game.
Miss, one more question it can be made. Miss, which game
Yes.
is referred to here?
Okay, what is the game? Which is the game that we are talking about? It is the game of life.
Game of life.
Yes, their logs held tight in death still hands as personification. Death still hands as personification. So even as their life was coming to an end, they kept holding on to their hand, to their sticks. Was proof of human sin. What is human sin? Examples of human sin now?
Prejudice, malice.
Lack of humanity.
Selfishness.
Okay. Selfishness, lack of humanity.
Love, understanding, suffering.
All right. They did not die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. Now, which one of them do you think is an opportunist? You can write any one of
Miss,
them.
everyone.
Which one of them do you think is an opportunist and why? You can write about any one of them. Another question, are you an opportunist? Why? So you can use any of the examples to write that, yes, I am an opportunist because of this. Because what do? I wait for a chance to take spite on my friend. Then you can write so many things over there that you can take an
Miss,
example
one more question is there. What is
Yes, come on.
humanism and do you practice humanism sin? Support your
No,
answer.
There is no what is humanism. Human sin. Human sin.
Yes, miss.
Yes, not humanism. Human sin. Very simple poem, but every line there is a question to it. And what is the general question? Justification of title. Irony. One personification there is. And human sin. Examples of human sin. Next one, Bengal Sellers is quite a difficult one. So take time to study Bengal Sellers, okay? Take some time to study Bengal Sellers. You cannot study as fast as Cold Within. Bengal Sellers, where are the Bengal Sellers going? To the temple fair. Why to the temple fair? That's another question. Because there's always a huge crowd next to the temple and lots of people. All right. So, where are the Bengal Sellers going? The Bengal Sellers are going to the temple fair. What is significant of shining clothes? That they had a hard life to lead.
Bangles. Heavy bag of luxury.
Significance of shining load is that they had a hard life to lead. They had to carry a heavy load to the temple fair every day. Delicate, bright, rainbow tinted, lustrous are the colors of the bangles meant for happy daughters, happy wives. What are the type of bangles that are meant for happy daughters, happy wives? Delicate. What's the meaning of delicate? Something that can easily be broken, fragile. Delicate, bright, rainbow tinted and lustrous. These are the type of bangles that is meant for happy daughters and happy wives. Rainbow tinted circles of light. What does rainbow tinted mean?
Multicolor.
Multicolor. And the figure of speech in this one will be a metaphor.
Metaphor.
Lustrous tokens of radiant lines. What is the lustrous bangles reflection of?
Radiant lives.
Radiant meaning?
Daily hardworking lives.
Radiant meaning beautiful lives. Okay, Atharva. Next question is for you. Some are meat. What is some? The others don't answer. Atharva. Some
Suitable.
are meat. What is some? What is some? Atharva. Some are meat. What is some?
Miss suitable.
Some are suitable. Dipon Paul. What is some?
Bangles.
Why are you dreaming? Some are meet for a maiden's wrist. Color of the bangles now for the maiden's wrist. Silver and blue. Flushed like the buds. A glow. How many colors we have got over there? For the maiden's wrist,
Miss
silver,
Ford.
blue, flushed like the buds, and a glow. So silver
Four
and blue as,
characteristics.
alright, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Pratik, what is the figure of speech? Others don't answer. Silver and blue as the mountain mist. Pratik, what is the figure of speech?
Simile.
What tells you that it is a simile?
This like is used.
There is no like.
This silver
As is used.
As is used.
Now what?
This as is used as.
What is being compared to what?
The silver and blue bangles to the mountain mist.
Okay. And what is it symbolic of? Purity, innocence, symbolic of purity, silver, innocence, beauty. Because this poem you need to know the symbolism. Silver and blue as the mountain mist. Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Roshan Shah, what is the figure of speech in the third line? Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Roshan Shah, what is the figure of speech? Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Roshan Shah. Roshan Shah. Where has Roshan disappeared? Samarth, what is the figure of speech? Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Vansh Nandwani.
Yes, miss.
Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Figure of speech.
Simile.
What tells you that it is a simile?
Miss, the use of the word like.
Okay, so the flushed color would mean what type of color then? Rohit Parikh?
It's red and orange.
All right. So bright. Some are flushed like the buds that dream. Have the buds been personified over here? Satyanand Kumar? Have the buds been personified?
Yes, yes.
Which word tells you that the buds have been personified? Babin Shah? Which word tells you that the buds are personified?
Flushed.
Dream. Dream is related to human being. What is the color of the bangle significant of? It is significant of all the dreams of a maiden. Next one, on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream, some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of new-born leaves. So the green color, the word green has not been mentioned, but limpid glory, new-born leaves is what color? Green color.
This green color.
All right. So some of them are aglow, means bright, with a green color. Some are like fields of sunlit corn. Like fields of sunlit corn is what figure of speech, Anand Gupta? Anand
It is
Gupta?
a simile.
All
Because
right.
like
What is compared? Okay. What is being compared?
the bangles are compared to the color of the sunlit corn. It's like fields of the sunlit corn.
All right. So what color is that?
It's yellowish.
Okay, yellowish orange. Meet for a bride on her bridal morn. Some are like the flame of her marriage fire. What color would that be, Aditya Bose? Flame of a marriage fire. What color would that be? Fire and flame. What color is that? Yes, Prantik?
It's red.
Reddish orange. Okay. Of a marriage fire, are rich with the hue of our heart's desire. Hue is the color. Tinkling, luminous, tender and clear. Like bridal laughter, bridal tear. You have to know the meaning of bridal laughter, bridal tear. Govind Charda, what is bridal laughter? Okay, don't know. What is bridal tear? Yes, Sankalan, what is bridal tear?
Bridal tear is the the crying of a bride on a wedding day.
Okay, the tears that she sheds when it is time for her to leave her home. And bridal laughter, Vansh Nandwani?
It is the happiness that the bride experiences during her marriage.
All right, and the last paragraph describes to you the color of the bangles that is worn by ladies who are more mature, purple and gold flicked gray. They have journeyed through life's mint way, meaning past 50, and their hands have cherished and loved and blessed their children, their cradled son. And now what does she do? She serves a household in fruitful pride and worship the gods at husband's side. This one you were not very sure. Bangle sellers, be careful, study that properly. Significance of all the colors of the bangles you must know. Coming to after Blenheim. Now, next one. How much time do we have? What time of the year was it? It was summer. What time of the day was it? It was evening. What was old Casper doing? Old Casper's work was done and he was sitting in the sun before the cottage door. Lines will go up and down over here. What was old Casper doing? Old Casper was sitting in the sun before his cottage door. Who was by him? By the side of him? By him spotted on the green was his grandchild. What is the name of the two children? Remember the name of the two children? She saw her brother Peterkin
Revenant.
roll something large and round. Where had he found the object? He had found the object beside the rivulet. He had found the object beside the rivulet while playing there. Why had he come to the old man? He had come to ask what he had found that was large, smooth, and round is the description of the item that he had found, which now he was rolling across to his grandfather. Old Caspar took it. It is referring to the object, who stood expectant means waiting for an answer. And then the old man shook his head. 2 reasons. Give one reason why you think the old man shook his head. Krish Agarwal. Why do you think he shook his head? Krish Agarwal. Why do you think he shook his head? Mane. Why do you think he shook his head? Anand Gupta.
It's because he shook his head.
Because what?
Miss, he was sighing. He was
What's the meaning of
sad.
he was sighing? He was sad,
Yes,
thinking about the war. So the object that he had brought in front of him, it reminded him of the war. And with a natural sigh, this some poor fellow's skull, said he who fell in the great victory. So what was the object? The object was the skull. Which great victory is he talking about? The victory at Blenheim. I find them in the garden, for there's many here about. What does that line show you? Jatin Garg? What does that line show you? I find them in the garden, for there's many here about. Jatin Garg,
Yes, miss.
what does that line show you? Mahavir Bengani, what does that line show you? Lakshay Gandhi, what does that line show you?
It was a very destructive war.
No.
Miss,
Sirish Bhagat, what does that line show you?
Miss, I'll try.
Sirish Bhagat?
Who were killed in the war.
Huh?
There were many who were killed in the war.
There were many who were killed in the war. And often when I go to plow, the plowshare turns them out. These 2 lines tells you about the profession of the old man. What was the old man? He was a Samarth. Samarth, he was what? Farmer. For many thousand men said he was slain in that great victory. Now tell us what this is all about. Young Peterkin cries. Little Wilmer looked up with wonder. Waiting eyes means expectant eyes. They want to know about the war. The war was fought between who? Rohit Parekh?
Between the English and the French.
All right. But what they fought each other for, what do the next 2 lines or 3 lines tell you, Rohit Parekh? What they fought each other for, I could not well make out. But everyone said it was a famous victory. What does those lines tell you?
It shows the ignorance of old Caspar.
Ignorance of old Caspar, ignorance of the other civilians, and the only thing they knew was that it was a famous victory. And how does he describe the horrors of the family, for horrors of the war that his family had to face? Subha Agarwal, describe the horrors of the family, the horrors of the war that his family had to face.
They burned his dwelling down and he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child he fled, nor had he where to rest his head.
All right. So they had burned down the dwelling. They were forced to fly. So with wife and child, his father fled and they had nowhere to rest their head. And what was the lines, the next few lines, Roshan Shah, what does it tell you?
Miss, next 2 lines.
Next few lines, next passage, next verse, what does it tell you? Hurry up. Give one word.
Miss,
Roshan Shah is very poor.
the horror of the war.
Horrors of war has already told you over there. This second one will tell you what? Horrors of the war along with the destruction. With fire and sword, the country wide was wasted, was burnt. Many a childing mother died, many newborn baby died. That is the horrors and also the destruction. But everyone said it was a famous victory. But things like that, what is the significance of using the word but over here? Aman. Circle the word but. What is the significance of using the word but? Next verse also you got but. What is that but?
Complementing character.
But means what? For everything you have to get something. But things like that were natural. Yes, complacency character that it is showing of the old man, that he feels you have to give up something for it. They say it was a shocking sight of the field was won. Many thousand bodies lay. What figure of speech can this be? Many thousand bodies lay. Many thousand bodies here. Yes, Sankalan?
The people, those who were
Exaggeration.
dead in the war.
Figure of speech.
Exaggeration.
So the figure of speech is not exaggeration. Figure of speech is Atharva. Atharv. Figure of speech is what? Again, I know you're sitting without a book. Figure of speech, hyperbole. And many thousand bodies lay rotting in the sun tells you the intensity of the war. Duke of Marlborough and Prince Eugene are the two people that the Duke feels were good enough to bring about the victory. But the children's response was, Nene, that was a wicked thing. The grandson said, but what good came of it at last? In the words of the grandchildren, what can you say? The two grandchildren, in the words of the grandchildren, we are getting the theme of the poem. What is the theme of the poem?
Utility of war.
War is futile.
Futility of war, uselessness of war. Uselessness of war, futility of war. In the words of the two children, we are getting the uselessness of war. So the futility of war is what we are getting in the words of the two children. Right? After Blenheim, we have to remember where the place Blenheim was. Now you got about 4 minutes. Television is easy enough. Anything with reference to television. Last one is daffodils. Daffodils, you have to remember over here, location of the flowers. Where were the daffodils? 3 points, 3 marks. 3 examples or 4 examples to show that the daffodils were many, innumerable. 3 to 4. Anyone who does not know that, raise your hand. Then we are coming to the musical quality in the poem. Then we are coming to Wordsworth as a nature poet. Then we are coming to, for the last verse, the question can be, what wealth did the show bring to the poet? The whole of the last verse. What wealth did the show bring to the poet? If you're given that question and 3 marks or 4 marks, you have to quote the last verse. For off and on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, the whole thing. From the last verse, what is the meaning that you can get? Meaning of inward eye. Meaning of inward eye.
Miss, what was the question which you told for the last word? What wealth?
What wealth did the show bring to the poet? Then the last verse, you've got the question, meaning of inward eye. What is the meaning of inward eye? Inward eye is the inner eye, which means imagination. Inward eye means imagination.
This we can write as dream.
No, It's not a dream. Another meaning that you can get in the last verse is bliss of solitude. The happiness that you feel when you're lonely. Bliss of solitude. First two lines of the poem gives you a figure of speech. I wandered lonely as is a simile. That floats on high over vales and hills. That floats over here also gives you a figure of speech because we're connecting the word float to a ship. So that also becomes a metaphor. Then you need to know the meaning of Milky Way. What is the Milky Way? What is the Milky Way? Constellation of stars. Another figure of speech is coming to you in the third verse. Waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. What is the figure of speech? Personification. Because we're using the word dance for the waves. Today I don't see Santosh. Santosh is not present.
She is not well.
Dilajit is present.
No, miss.
Okay. Then a poet could not but be gay in such a meaning, jocund company. Last meaning, jocund company. Joyous company. And I gazed and gazed. This is the only place where you got a word repeated. Gazed and gazed. See, the word is repeated twice. Gazed and gazed. What is the purpose of repeating the word? We have to do it emphasizes on the theme. And what is the theme over here? What is the theme? Influence of nature on man. Okay. I gazed and gazed but little thought. Only in this place you got the word gazed repeated. Why is the word gazed repeated? To emphasize on the theme of the poem. Which particular theme are we taking up over here? The theme is influence of nature on man. Besides that, when you're studying your literature, then you see if you have any problem, you get to me in the WhatsApp, okay? But don't forget to write your name because some of you all send me and I don't know whose it is because the name is not there. So if you have any problem, you can catch up over there because tomorrow is a holiday, then you won't have another class. If you have any problem, you can ask in the WhatsApp and you don't forget to write your name, but.
Miss, can you tell the theme of television?
Theme, there are three themes. Television and idiot box comes to never, 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 those lines. Never, never let them near your television set or better install them. It rots the senses in the head is, what is that one?
Death of imagination.
Death of imagination. And they read. This is benefits of reading.
Okay,
So
miss.
three of it comes in three different places, wherever it is highlighted, wherever the font changes. Font changes to emphasize on the theme. Right. If that any problem, then you get to me, okay?
How many sets will come in the exam? 6 sets or 9 sets?
I'm setting a 9-set paper. If someone else's paper comes, I cannot say. All right. Thank you.